I am late, but I am here. I apologize. I had a bit of an emergency. Everybody's well, and all the details are being handled. I am so sorry to have uh, changed the time today unexpectedly. Trust me, I wish I hadn't. I hope to have plans tomorrow, so I couldn't just say it'll be tomorrow. So I've been quilting, and I hope you have too, if that is what makes you happy. I have also been playing with orphan blocks and seeing what might happen with them. I I am currently living in my air conditioned sewing room because it is the only air conditioned room in my house. If I leave this room, my heart doesn't work very well because COVID left me in heart failure. So I survived COVID, but my heart isn't working very well, and we're having really dangerously high temperatures and humidity right now. So I was in the middle of the air conditioner people explaining to me why the brand new air conditioning central air plus furnace that I had installed earlier this year to prepare for this summer wasn't working and won't work for a few more days. So, yeah, I was in the middle of that. And then I needed to come back in the air conditioned room and calm down and get the heart palpitations to start and all that. Anyway, so life is good. I'm back to quilting again. Um, I have been quilting a lot, again, locked in this room because I can't leave it. I leave to go to the bathroom and then come back. I sleep in the armchair over there until I have central air. So, what have I been doing? A lot. I've been doing a lot. Number one, I've been smooching on my little baby. I have a 10-day-old grandbaby, and he's perfect. He's absolutely perfect. I know you think your grandkids are perfect, but they're not. I have the absolute cutest baby boy in the entire state of New York, and I have the three smartest, cutest, most amazing kids in the state of Connecticut, unless you have kids in Connecticut, and then we'll divide the state up so that ours are always the best. So I'm enjoying going through this with my daughter and getting the we had a we had a total diaper blowout. I believe geyser poop was discussed. Sorry about that. But it's just so fun watching these young parents go through a new baby and be exhausted and come to all sorts of realizations. And birth plans and things we didn't have 40 years ago when I was having kids. So it's just such a treasure every day. And I will always answer the phone and I will always be there to listen and support. And yes, we jumped in a car and drove up, and I got to snuggle with baby while mom and mom were having naps and showers, and my husband was there and doing grocery shopping and all that, and doing the physical things that I can't do. Again, stupid heart. Um, but they were like, no, we're gonna be low key. We don't really need any visitors. And they were home one day. They were like, can you come up? So because they live north of me, so it's just a magical time. It's a magical time to go through this with my daughter's first baby, and that's why I took off work for all of June, just to be available for this. I didn't want to be. Oh, I'm on a plane. I won't be able to reach for several hours. I'm traveling. I'm teaching. I'm working. Even if I'm not physically there the whole time, I want to emotionally be there for my child, and it's been such a treat to do that. Which is uh, a lot of quilts. I showed you quilts last week that I was making while they were in labor because there was a 2-day labor. And it was a little bit of a medical trauma. Everybody's good, but it wasn't exactly what they had intended. Childbirth never is. I kept trying to explain to them that childbirth doesn't survive the first labor pain. Your childbirth plan does not survive the first labor pain. But my husband and I just try not to laugh all the time. Again, everybody's well, everything's normal, and they're like, "Oh my word, we're so tired." We're like, "Of course you are," because that's what being new parents is about. It's just again a completely joyful time. But when I was waiting for this grandbaby to be born, I was quilting. And in between the times now, since I'm not working for the month, I'm quilting. And now that I'm hiding in my one air conditioned room, I'm quilting. So I have a lot to show you. Since I've been dealing with phone calls and emotions and physically calming down from the air conditioned interaction, I'm again not as prepared for this Facebook Live as I would want to be, but and I have the hiccups. Let me pull up some photos for you to tell you what has been going on. Um, a series of photos. So first we have, I'll pull this one up. Today's Tuesday, I think, right? Okay, because I got 2 more days of content. You'll be getting a newsletter on Thursday morning. So let me share my video. Nope. Yep. Window, this one. So here's In Baby Makes Three. This is the quilt that I quilted while my grandson was being born for 2 days. There's a process involved in an emergency inducing a baby, which I knew wouldn't be a short process. So I custom quilted this because I had a lot of love to stitch into this quilt. It's not even for my grandbaby. This is, it's a color block quilt that I'm saving for whatever future things I do. But last week when I talked to you, I hadn't been able to get good photos because we were raining. So here's a better photo of how I quilted the color block quilt. Now, this is called In Baby Makes Three, and I used multiple colors in the quilt block, in the color block. I normally do them all oranges or all reds or all greens. And this one I did all baby minus pink, because some people are offended by pink in baby quilts anyway. So this is, although this peach here looks quite pink. I did continuous curve in the color block because I felt like it. I did hearts in the offset blocks. Someone suggested that in my Facebook Live, and I'm so sorry I forgot who, but it was a great suggestion, and I just used a quick stencil and did some feathers around it. I ribbon candy here. Let's see what else I have going on. There's more of the quilt. I'm more over here. Oh, wait, I guess we got to go this way. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so I have half of a heart. There's the whole heart, and you can see the border out here. I have, if you go to DebbieBrownQuilts.com, one of the first buttons you see is a big one that says blog. Click the blog button and you'll get to see all the details out about this quilt with photos and links to the free class where you can download the pattern and download the machine quilting tutorial. If you look at this border design in here, it's pumpkin seeds. And I'm kind of completely in love with pumpkin seeds right now, and grid work. So you're going to be seeing a lot of that. I'm sorry, not sorry. I'm having a ball quilting like that. So it'll be showing up in various permutations in various places. But that's the quilt. It's absolutely delightful. I couldn't be happier with how it turned out. So there you go. Let me stop sharing that and come back to the my comments here. So Patty, let's see. Patty, it's hot, Ohio. Yes. Yeah, it was 98 degrees last time I checked, but it's only 90, 91 degrees indoors in every room that isn't this one. And when we rebuilt the house after it was destroyed by a falling tree back in 2019, this is the great room of my house, circa 1976 or 74, whenever my house was built. So, the dark wood paneling and stuff. And this is a wide entrance that we built a 40-inch door in for wheelchair accessibility. Yes, that's a roll of batting out in the hallway. Just because I needed it not in here. So I have a door there, which helps me keep the air conditioning in. It also helps me keep heat in because I have a fireplace in here, a gas fireplace that will warm this room. I can live mostly in here. The rest of the house just needs to be reasonable. Right now, not reasonable. And most of the Northeast U.S. is being cremated right now. It's pretty gross. And in my case, it's pretty dangerous, and it is for many of you as well. So take care of yourselves. Stay in air conditioning. Find air conditioning. Last night, went out to dinner, went to a movie, rented air conditioning. So that worked. Sorry, I'm not blow drying my hair, so it's curly. Let's see here. Hello from New Jersey. Outdoor thermometers is 105 degrees. It's gross. It's gross. It's gross. The hottest I've ever been actual outdoor temperature is 108 degrees, and it was here in New York, and that was maybe 30 years ago. But we've been in the 102, 103, 104, and we're hitting that this week. Fortunately, I live on a mountain, so the temperatures I'm quoting are the town temperatures. I live on a mountain, so I might be 5 degrees cooler, but it's still disgusting and humid. The hottest I've ever been in is 120, and that was in Las Vegas because my husband thought it was a good idea to go there in August. And then we went to the Hoover's Dam, and it was 120 degrees. It was hilarious. It was a blast furnace. Like you open a door, go outside, and heat. It was just hilariously hot. This is not hilariously hot. This is getting to be a little dangerous for me with my heart. But once I get my central air fixed, that apparently, they're like, you won't be paying for it. It's under warranty. I'm like, yeah, because I just had it installed. Anyway, once it's fixed, I'll be fine. But had to make enough of a ruckus to get them to take me seriously and fix my air conditioning that I paid for. Anyway, so stay safe, do whatever it takes to seek shelter, be away from the humidity. When my kids were little, I've never had air conditioning, central air ever. And even now that I've paid for it, apparently don't have it. But I used to take my kids to Wendy's for a Frosty, and then we'd go read at the library for the afternoon or a movie. I couldn't do anything that was expensive because I was young and poor and had 2 kids and had no money. But we were able to find some good air conditioning. I can go hang out at my church. I can go to the library, but as long as I'm in my sewing room, I'm mostly okay. So I'm sewing a lot and have more to show you. Like, what did I do? Hold on. I've got to get a pile of stuff out here. Ugh. I decided to go through my orange box of scraps because it wouldn't close. Oh, wait, that's red. Let's put that one down. I didn't mean to pick up red. Go over there. So this is about 100 color blocks in orange. And I'm done. I know I have fewer than 16 colors left. So the box closes now. But this is what I've been doing. And there may be some orange color blocks coming in the future. Just maybe. Let me throw that over there onto my armchair. I may or may not have already made July's color block quilt. It's blue and orange. Enjoy that. So that's done. I just have to write the pattern. That'll be done on time. Pretty excited. What else have I been doing? Let me pull up another photo for you. So last week, not last week, way earlier this year, Handy Quilter, the company I contract with, sent me and the other Handy Quilter educators a panel that we were to quilt as a challenge. And this week is Handy Quilter Academy. I'm sad not to be there in Utah teaching this year. I taught there last year, and I didn't teach there 4 pandemic years, 2 worldwide pandemic, 2 personal pandemic. And I'm not teaching there this year because of my baby, the expectation of my grandbaby. But it's a marvelous place. If you are ever considering going to Handy Quilter Academy, do it. Do it. I've taught at most of the major quilt shows in the entire world. And this is there. It is just there. And I rave about primitive gatherings, that I've been to primitive gatherings for the retreat as a student. And it is that same high caliber, high quality event where everyone is focused on your enjoyment. They're there for you. The education is great. The atmosphere is great. The food is great. The people are great. It's just top notch. I've been at fancier, not much. I've been at one fancier quilt show, and that was in Australia. I taught there a couple times. Sorry, something going on my eye. And they have liveried tea service for the students in the middle of the day. So it's just super duper fancy in a super duper fancy building. And they have massages for the students, chair massages for the students and stuff. They don't do that at Handy Quilter, but they have all sorts of other cool things. So I'm hoping somebody takes pictures of my quilt hanging with the other challenge quilts so that I'll get to see it. But It may end up in a traveling exhibition. Some of the former Handy Quilter Challenge quilts have traveled around to various quilt shows. So I'll try to figure out where it's going and let you know where you can see it. But let me show you what I was doing. So share window. This one? No. Oh, wow. That's the infinite loop. Let's stop share. That's the dashboard that I'm looking at. Okay, stop sharing. Okay, let's try that again. Share window. There it is. Before I showed you my dashboard, looking at my dashboard, it was just infinite. So this is a panel, and these were all variations on, is that a Lone Star? The diamond star thing. And we got to pick, for the most part, we got to pick, give them our 3 favorite choices of the panels, because there were a bunch of different panels. I decided to do this, to stitch this on my stationary machine, because most of the hand quilter educators would stitch it on their long arm on a frame, and possibly with a computer. So I just wanted to add another take to it. Since I can quilt with the computer, I can quilt with the long arm on the frame, can also quilt on my stationary, which is behind me here. So the first thing I did, I layered it with 2 layers of batting, and then I went and stitched in the ditch because I wanted to get to know my quilt. And it also helped to outline it. That way I could quilt a little here, a little there, because no batting and backing were going to shift once it was stitched in the ditch. Then the first question I ask for design is, where does the ribbon candy go? Well, I picked this panel because it had long, thin strips, and I put ribbon candy in there. Now I was pulling out thread and go, I'm going to find a purple, I'm going to find a rust, I'm going to find an orange. I quilted all of it with beige, which is one of my top 10 favorite threads. So it was 50 weight cotton in the needle, and an 80 weight soft tan, I think, was the bobbin color in Deco Bob. I used the Handy Quilter sweet spots to push the fabric around. And then with all the diamonds, I was, again, trying to show people a diversity of thought, that we could all say, oh, let's just do traditional, whatever, the same continuous curve in our diamonds. So I decided to do something different. I just did stars, and that I held that through my diamonds. And here's a regret I have. I didn't start this when I should have started it. I ended up, the time I planned to do this, I was driving back and forth to the hospital to get my daughter set up and cats taken care of and things for their labor, and then waiting. So I didn't really have as much time to plan the quilting of this as I wanted to. I kind of free motioned my spine to fill the area. And as I was binding it and staring at it and photographing it, I now know what I would do differently on that spine. I know exactly how I would make a spine. I'm happy with everything I did on this quilt, except I wish the spine had been different. Might be being a little picky, but I'm just going to be honest with you. So you can see there's, blue marker in there where I just sketched out a spine. Did some lovely feathers. The feathers were stitched in that 80 weight Deco Bob, needle and bobbin, because I wanted to see the texture but not the thread, and that was in white. And there's the whole quilt. Again, I know what I would have done differently with the spine, but I do love how the quilt turned out. Showing more diversity of quilting, I machine bound that quilt. I just machine bound it because I didn't really have time to do anything else. I needed to get it off to FedEx to get it hung it's being hung right now. So that's the way it goes. But I love that quilt. I love how it turned out. And if I ever did it again, the only thing I would do different is do the feathered spine differently. You can also go to my blog and read more details about it. There is no video of this quilt. I just stitched it. So let's see. Patty, what a tease I am. Yes, I am. Stay in the sewing room. Yes, definitely. Staying in the sewing room. And my husband thinks he can get his hands on another unit, so I can possibly sleep in bed tonight and get some better sleep. Quilt looks lovely. Thank you. I'm 95% pleased with it, and I know the part I wasn't pleased with it. Maybe if I were really doing this for showing and judging and all of that, I would have done a more precise, I would have done hand binding, but I'm content with it. I'm really content with it. Gorgeous quilting. Why, thank you. When you first ask, but where does the ribbon candy go? Quilt's going to turn out great. The quilt looks gorgeous. Oh, thank you. I love it. I'm really, really happy with it, except the spine. But again, um, I'm I'm comfortable with the decisions I made and the reasons I made them. So that was on today's blog. Do you want to see what's coming out tomorrow on social media? Because I have that. And I also have what's coming out Thursday. So tomorrow, I'll show you real ones too. And you're getting your newsletter after this all comes out. So let me pull up the next one. Okay, let me open that and bring you in on the action here. So once upon a time, I made a quilt and I didn't like it. I made 2 blocks of it from a pattern that I've since thrown away. I didn't enjoy it. I had to change the size. I had to add sash in between it because the blocks didn't match up. It was just a problem child. But the fabric's gorgeous. I like the concept. Just didn't work the way I wanted it to. But I wanted to finish it. And that's a big quilt. It's like 76 by 88. And I met my nephew's girlfriend for the first time. I keep hearing about this fabulous girlfriend, but I've never met her, and finally met her in January. Until then, she was a unicorn, a mythical creature. You talk about her, but she's not real. Anyway, she's real. And I told her I wanted to give her a quilt, and she looked through the quilts in my car and said, and I appreciate that. A woman who knows her mind. She said she likes color. So I sent more photos of options, and she liked this one. So I finished this for my nephew and his girlfriend. And what I did, I had to decide how I wanted to quilt it. Look at all the possibilities for ribbon candy in there. But I decided to quilt it with a stencil. And let's see. So I have a swirl stencil in the middle of the block and in the middle of the edges. And I just lined up swirl, 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 swirl. And I had to join them even though they didn't match. I had to make them match. And then I did some switchback quilting in between them. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. Oh, not that. Another picture? Nope, not that one. There's one more picture missing. Anyway, that's what is going on. That will be on tomorrow's social media and blog. The video of that is already in as the Bobbin Turns, and it's going to show you how I was able to get a stencil that doesn't fit, but make it continuous, even though the continuousness of it doesn't fit. And it fit really well, and the quilt looks great, and it's already rolled up, tied, and in the bag, going to the right location. I'm going to be traveling for 5 weeks this summer. And I have different bags lined up in my hallway of this goes to this house, and this goes to this house, and this goes to this house, and all of that. So that's coming out tomorrow. And since it was a quilt I was quilting, I did use black thread, which is not the best for video, so apologize, but it did show up pretty well. And then Thursday, there's just another blog and social media coming out. No video from this next one either. Let me find it. This one. I'll share that. Share. Okay. So yes, it is squared away. And if I've made fewer than 30 of this quilt, I will call you a liar. I don't know how many I've quilted, but it's a lot of these. I love piecing this quilt. I love quilting this quilt. It's all ribbon candy. And it just doesn't get better than that. And the piecing of it is super easy. It's easy to cut. It's just a natural quilt for me to make. So this is what it looks like quilted. And I quilted this last weekend, I think. Before last weekend. I quilted this, had to finish it up to quilt and Baby Makes 3. So this quilt is wrapped up in a bag going to its next home, and that is going to my daughter's house because, this fabric is Pat Sloan Birdsong. which is a lovely one if you've had a chance. I do collect Pat Sloan fabrics. She has just such a great sensibility. So let me stop sharing that and come back to you. So we, as quilters, have an extended sense of family, I think, because this quilt is going to a family member. And by family member, I mean my daughter's wife's childhood babysitter, who is like her mom's friend. And I'm going to take it to my girls this week so that they can give it to her this weekend. As I was making it, it was just screaming her name. And somebody would never expect to get a quilt from me is getting a quilt from me, and it's going to make me happy, and it's going to make her happy. And there you go. And why did they have special relationship with the babysitter? My daughter-in-law is a triplet, 3 infants at once. There was help required. So, yeah, 3. Can you imagine 3 babies at once? As tired as my daughter is right now, I can't imagine her with 3 of them when the babies outnumber the grown-ups. Right now, the grown-ups outnumber the baby. So that's coming out. And there'll be a newsletter with some new D-Stash stuff. So that's all scheduled and ready to go. I didn't look today, but I can to see how far I am on my 202 hours of Game of Thrones, which I'm listening to as I'm quilting or driving, and that's what I'm doing. So let's see. I think 5. Is it 49? I think I had 55 hours left. So I was hoping to have this book done before the baby comes, but the baby came early because mom kind of needed it. Mom kind of needed to not be pregnant anymore. And the baby kind of needed to not be in there anymore. So it worked out great. Everybody's good. So I wanted to finish this. And then I think the next series I'm going to attack is Red Rising. If anyone has thoughts on that, I have lists of series to go into. I've also been recommended the Pillars of the Earth. I've read the first one. I haven't read the whole series, but I love big books. What was that rap song? I'll change it up for this. I like big books and I cannot lie. You give me a book that on audio is 50 hours. That's great. Like a J.D. Robb mystery, like a standard mystery book, it's going to be about 12 hours. These are 50 hours each. So 202 hours is fabulous. So, yeah, it's one of my favorite things. Just dig into the book, dig into the quilting, hide in the air conditioning. Beverage of choice, which is Crystal Light Lemonade, highly diluted, or unsweet iced tea from Decaf Ginger Peach Harney Tea Leaves. Good stuff. So I have that going on. I have a couple more things to tell you in this weird mixed up. My day didn't go as planned, but they don't always do that. So color blocks, I have July. I showed you all the orange ones. I talked about the stupid air conditioning that doesn't stupid work. But again, I have it. Life is beautiful. I'm okay. As the Bobbin Turns and Baby Makes 3 handy quilter, showed you all of those. I got a new baby picture. Sorry. I get my daily baby picture. And I had a question. So I've been doing a lot of custom quilting on quilts. And I have a question for you. I feel sometimes with color blocks, I was showing you easy ways to do it. And then I do some that are like heavy custom. What intrigues you more? I think the custom quilting, I know you can do it because it's just doing the same one little thing lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of times. But it can look intimidating. Does custom quilting instruction turn you off, turn you on, or are you always into, ooh, here's another quick way to get a quilt done? What kind of turns you on? Because I'm going to be things that make me happy, like when I'm reading an article or something. Quick summer meals that you don't have to turn the oven on. because again, I've never had air conditioning, so I can't cook much in the summer. What type of quilting will make you stop and look at it? Do you out? Oh, this is a quick way to get the quilt done, or this is ruler work, or oh, look at that custom quilting. But if they do step by step, Heather, you're a custom quilter, okay? I believe that. As I'm catching up and getting a little bit ahead, the next step, Heather, and this is me answering you a previous question, is to finish up the 21 days from quilt top to quilted. So that is on the calendar, but I wanted to get all my content for June done and then go back to that. I still have to get all of July and half of August done before I leave town. Becky, you're a quick. Okay. So a mix sounds, from the answers I'm getting so far, it sounds like a mix is fine. I just don't want to do all custom quilting and turn people off, or all easy quilting and people are like, psh, got that. Because sometimes the easy stuff is super fun. I had a big quilt. I didn't want to custom quilt it because I didn't have the good feelings about that quilt, that quilt with all the bright colors. The colors were pretty, but I didn't enjoy the process of making the quilt. And I didn't really want to spend a lot of time on it. I like it now, but that quilt, it was in timeout. Um, so yeah, I was just soliciting some feedback. Um, Yay, I want to get you to finish it, but my current one is in timeout. So here's what happened, other than my whole back tragedy as well. Like medically, I wasn't working. Um, one of the backings I was working with shifted. And so I do have to take a quilt out. So it got put in the timeout pile and now it'll come back out. I will finish it. Patty, you want easy because most of your quilts are children's charity quilts. Okay. Um, I want to, yes. And by the way, none of these answers are wrong. It's just what's your preference. Like my coffee cup is sitting over there. And as I tell any student, 100 times out of 100, my coffee cup has tea in it because I'm a tea drinker. I'm not a coffee drinker. And that's a preference. I'm not wrong for liking tea. I just prefer it. I do not like coffee. I just don't care for the taste of coffee or anything. And I know it's magic beans. I get that. It's just not my jam. So if you like easy quilting, great, do that. If you like custom quilting, great, do that too. If you're afraid of custom quilting, I encourage you to try it. Because if you like it but are afraid of it, all custom quilting is doing one thing just a lot and then doing another thing a lot. It's still just one stitch at a time, like any other quilt. You just have to be in the right frame of mind for it. And sometimes some quilts don't put me in the right frame of mind for it. Um, and as I'm looking back, like I missed a couple color block patterns from earlier this year and in earlier classes. And I'm thinking of not doing color blocks next year and doing color block catch up next year and filling in all the missing holes, but then having extra classes. Heather, you don't drink coffee for the same reasons? Yeah, coffee ruins my day. It, my husband, my funniest coffee story, whenever I go through medical treatment, I want ice cream because I deserve ice cream. And my husband's like, what kind of ice cream do you want? I'm like, chocolate with lots of good stuff in it. So he just got me this rather plain brown ice cream. Well, it was coffee ice cream. I'm like, honey, all brown ice cream is not chocolate. My husband is marvelous, absolutely marvelous. So if I make fun of him, it's good natured. But this was a big fail on his part. And so he brought home coffee ice cream. And I had an infusion 2 weeks later. He ended up eating the coffee ice cream because I'm just going to throw that away. I just don't enjoy it. He said, I got it. I brought home this ice cream for you, and it has 3 kinds of cookies in it. It's called Dunkers. And again, it was brown ice cream, coffee ice cream, with 3 different types of cookie chunks in it to be dunking in your coffee. So he ended up eating that as well. And then he went shopping until he got it right. He did eventually bring home good ice cream. And I think this was probably during the pandemic, so I couldn't go out and do the shopping myself. But he's just adorable that way, that he'll get it right. Like when my hair was really, really long and I broke my collarbone, I had him take me to the hairdresser so they could braid it up and spray it to give me a couple days of not having to touch my hair because I couldn't move. And he's like, well, I can do your hair. I'm like, oh, honey, you can do anything. I'm just trying to give you a break and get this taken care of. so you don't have to, because he would do anything. He would learn how to braid my hair if he needed to. So he's awesome, but he really failed on the coffee ice cream, which was kind of fun. So Joan, you love the catch-up idea? Okay, I was kind of nervous about putting out all new quilts, and then fitting in all the old ones too. And then I didn't want to overwhelm me or you. So I'm thinking I'll just have color block catch up for 2025, but then maybe put out other classes. And I know one thing I really do want to do is another mystery quilt, because I think everyone liked that. So I want to focus on the things that are important, um, and get those done. The things that are important to me and to you. So just taking a temperature check, I guess. I guess we can talk temperature today. Ooh, we're down to 97. It's getting cool. Might be time to, go out and take a run. I have a pile of half done quilts. I have a pile of quilt tops for color blocks to get done. So yeah, I think I can finish. I think I can catch everything up in 1 year. So we'll see what we can do. So that is my day and my week. I hope to have a Pro Stitcher YouTube video out on Monday. And that, what Pro Stitcher is the computerized component of the Handy Quilter long arm on a frame. Now, most of my online work I do is home machine quilting or stationary quilting, but I'm actually a long arm quilter too. I don't long arm quilt a lot now because I film all my quilts, and since I'm filming them, number one, it's easier to film without filming a machine that's moving. I'd film online content on a home machine, but I love my Pro Stitcher quilters. I teach that all the time, and computers are scary for me and hard for me. So I have a way of teaching that can that would work for me as someone who's scared of computers. So that's why I'm putting out that content. I'm not going to stop doing the other thing. It's just my Pro Stitcher students have been asking for online content, and that's what I'm going to be adding to. Definitely another mystery. That was fabulous. Okay, now I feel like, the one hit wonders, like the song, the bands that only had one hit song, or the bands that had one great album and never really came out with another good one after that. I'm worried about that because I really liked that first quilt. It went really well. I have no ideas for quilt number 2, and I'm nervous that I'm not going to get it as good. But I'm willing to give it a try if you are. And I'll be honest I'll be honest with you, because I'm always honest with you. If I don't feel it's as good. So, but I'm working on it. I have thoughts, but none have gelled yet. So that is what I'm doing. I'm going to hide in here. My husband's in a meeting, but when he's done, I will text him and tell him what he's bringing me for dinner, because I'm not going out into the oven to cook dinner. Let's see. Just seeing the comments as they're coming in. Love a mystery. Hi, Ronnie. And don't worry about it. You can do it. It's the pressure. I don't want to hit my sophomore slump. Like my second one is as good as my first one. But the pressure. I could say I eat pressure for breakfast. I don't. But I want to make a good mystery quilt, but I don't have one in my head yet. Working on it though. So instead of pressuring myself to keep coming up with all new color blocks, I'm just going to fill in the ones that didn't get done. And then the ones that didn't get designed and all of that, maybe I could put those creative energies toward a mystery quilt. I also have a couple short classes I'd like to get out for you. So just trying to put the calendar together now that I'm back at work. And thanks for the encouragement, Cindy. You're going out for dinner on the Cape. Too hot to cook. Yes. I did that last night too. Our movie theater had a mystery movie. They were like $5, come see a movie. We won't tell you what it was. Well, what it was the new Jurassic Park movie. And the movie theater was pretty full because it was $5 movies, mystery movie. People were showing up for it. And also because it was 100 blessed degrees outside, and a movie theater is a great place to get some air conditioning. So it was a good crowd to watch. Whenever they announced what the movie was, the applause broke out. The movie was good. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was good. It wasn't cold in the theater, but it wasn't humid and I could breathe the whole time. So it was lovely. Um, yeah. And I'm going to have hubby do takeout, or we'll just throw something in the microwave or open a can of soup or something. It's just not a food day. Cindy, no pressure. You'll love whatever you come up with. You guys are the best. You're just awesome. Um, I definitely couldn't talk to you at 2:30 because my air conditioner guy showed up at 2:15, so I wasn't around at 2:30 to talk to you. But I know that you weren't going to be mad that I missed the time slot just because something came up and it was kind of important. So thanks for being you guys. Heather, happy for a catch-up year. It's windy here and very cold. Well, cold for us, but not snow. And this is when I can't convert Celsius to Fahrenheit on the fly because it's like 32 plus whatever per whatever. But the temperature at my house goes from -20 Celsius to +42. And we are at about 39.5 right now Celsius with really high humidity. So we get the full range of weather. Our temperature, the hottest it's ever been here, is slightly over 42 degrees, and I don't know what 120 degrees Fahrenheit is, but well over 42 because it's from 108 to 120. So what's that, going up toward 50, closer to 50? It was really hot whenever I was at the Hoover Dam. But yeah, -20 to 42 above. And today is about 39.5. And we're going tomorrow, we should be 40. And it's gross. So yeah, I keep, sorry you're hearing about the heat, but God's actually baking the Northeast United States right now. We are in an oven. But I hope that your weather isn't dangerously cold, and that maybe you could just snuggle up with a nice cup of tea and some quilting and a good audiobook or some comfort TV or something, and just enjoy the change of season as you're going into the cooler weather. So enjoy. And Patty, you agree with, oh, that's so sweet, you guys. But yeah, I'm nervous that I might not get as good as that first quilt, but I will finish up that class because I was really encouraging talking to my husband at dinner last night, saying, I haven't mentioned anything, but my back has been feeling better. And he said, I thought so, because he's been noticing that I'm moving better. I'm not groaning getting out of a chair, but we've had terrible weather and my back. So it's not like my back hurts when it rains, but it's not that bad. So maybe things are getting better, but hopefully I can continue to work in this broken body and get some quilting done and have a smooth pass after the last couple years of ick. So that's what I'm looking forward to for the rest of the year. And I will be back next Tuesday at 2:30 New York time, unless I get an emergency call from my daughters who they're settling in with the baby. Um, but I will be here again next week. It'll be July 1st, I think. I think July 1st. And yeah, and I'll have a new video and all will be well. So take care of yourselves, like physically, emotionally, whatever it takes. Take care of each other. Be nicer to people than they deserve. I've been seeing comments. I did put my air conditioner story online, and people are like, "You were way nicer than I would have been." I do try to be nicer to people than they deserve. That's a goal of mine. I mean, I always think God's been nicer to me than I deserve, and I just want to spread that out. So be nice to each other, be nice to yourselves, and happy quilting. So I will see you next week at 2:30 on Tuesday afternoon, New York time. Um, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and happy quilting. Bye.